What's up guys, Houndish here, and today it's time to jump in with that weekend roundup for Destiny 2. So we've got quite a lot of stuff to talk about in this video. We're going to touch on the invitation of the 9, missing invitations, so if you can't see them this week, we now know what's going on with that. On top of this, we're going to talk about new April update changes for patch 2.2.1, and then some stuff about upcoming quests, interesting exotic items and rewards, as well as a few new event details, and Bungie gives some insights about Prime Design and Joker's Wild. We're going to touch on yet more community frustrations, and some other news and roundups in this video guys, so if you enjoy this one, a like below is very much appreciated, but now let's jump right into it. So first up, let's talk about invitations of the 9 very briefly. This week, as always, there is a new one available, but some folks have actually been unable to pick one up since there's arrival yesterday. And this was all over my comment section, but DMG actually gave us some information. So he said if you did not complete your invitation by Tuesday at reset, you will be unable to acquire a new invitation that week. So basically what is happening is that for any folks who carried over the invitation until after the reset on Tuesday, that invitation has now counted for the invitation for the week, right? So basically what you need to do is make sure that when you pick them up, you complete that before Tuesday's reset, otherwise you will have to wait another week to get the next one. However, because these roll out one after the other, it doesn't really matter when you do them. We're not going to lose any rewards or anything like that. You'll still be able to experience everything, but you will have to wait another week, unfortunately. DMG does say though that they're developing a change to give a bit more time, so after update 2.2.1, which is coming in April, basically we'll have until Thursday to complete this invitation. So definitely a good change. I can understand this is pretty frustrating for anyone who's missing out. On top of this, there is the element where you kind of have spoilers and stuff popping up online. So hopefully it won't take too long for that update to drop in April. They've also confirmed that they're going to be updating Banshee's inventory a little bit in the April update, and basically removing some of the world drops he can get, so his inventory will focus on gunsmith weapons only. On top of this, they're looking at retuning some of the costs for the various packages and items, but on top of this for April, they're bringing in a fix for a bug where Thorn actually breaks Chaos Reach, so when the Soul Devour perk is active on a target, it stops Chaos Reach from doing any damage on that target, as far as I know, which is pretty crazy. Looking at issues where Season 6 shaders are not dropping Bright Dust from the Cryptarch, the Stronghold exotic for the Titan, Shaq's still thinking it's Crimson Days and a bunch of other stuff, so I will keep you posted on that. But just to mention, the changes that are becoming to Gunsmith in April are separate to a bunch of changes that the Gunsmith will get in Season 7. So Bungie confirmed that in Season of Opulence, they're going to be removing scrapper bounties and replacing them with guaranteed gunsmith bounties that roll out, weekly or daily, and the new gunsmith bounties will be a way to acquire enhancement cores. However, on top of this, Bungie did confirm that they won't be removing enhancement cores from Infusion, and from what they said, it also sounds like the bounties that Banshee has will offer something like an enhancement core upon completion, which obviously isn't super exciting. I think that's part of the problem, but the community especially didn't respond well to the subject of enhancement cores and infusion, because that still isn't being taken out, and honestly I find it kind of tiring at this point because we've been saying it for many months. If you look at the forums, Reddit, my comment section from that previous video where we spoke about the news about enhancement cores, it's pretty clear that the community and Bungie still feel very differently, and it's something that is not going to change at least in Season 7, but maybe it could beyond that. Nonetheless, Bungie are asking for feedback about enhancement cores, so I'll link a forum thread down below. Definitely if you can go and give some constructive feedback, then that could be a positive because there is so much noise kind of being made about this. Maybe that could influence some kind of change, but yeah, let us know your thoughts about it down below. Now though, let's talk about some upcoming content, potential exotics and secrets, so some curious items right here. There is a new exotic consumable. This is listed in the database for Season 6, and it says that the item is classified, and typically you wouldn't see an icon with a classified item unless it was some kind of placeholder. So I'm guessing that that's possibly what we're seeing right here. There's been a bit of speculation about what this item could be. Honestly, it isn't really clear, but maybe this could be linked to, some upcoming content or some of the exotics we haven't acquired yet. One potential exotic that could be coming into the game can be spotted in the collections inside of databases. So right here, we have the kinetic weapons in the game, and you won't see this in your collection in the game, when you see an unknown exotic. But right here, we can see Thorn and Arbalest, both kinetic weapons, as well as The Last Word and Izanagi's Burden, which are from Season 5 of course. But then another entry has been added for Season 6, and it's a classified slot inside of Exotic Weapons Kinetic. And there doesn't appear to be any data for another weapon in the game, so what we're possibly seeing is a kind of collection slot reserved for a weapon. And the reason this could be a thing, and one of the only times I really remember this happening, was when we got Thunderlord. I noticed something pretty interesting about something we've spoken about recently. There's a line of dialogue from the Drifter that references us, the Guardian, having potentially snuck into a quarantined Cryptarch vault in the ruins of the old tower. We have mentioned this, but it only just occurred to me yesterday Something that the community spoke about and speculated about back in Destiny 1 were the mysterious doors on the ground immediately next to Master Rahool in the tower. This might sound a little bit spinfoil, but once again, kind of like Thunderlord, we do have that classified entry, which looks like a reserved slot for an upcoming weapon. Of course, if the Drifter's line of dialogue actually means anything, then in an upcoming quest of some sort, possibly the free exotic quest on the roadmap, we could be sneaking back to go into this quarantine vault. So once again, a lot of similarities, a potential kind of reprise or return mission with an exotic quest alongside an event. And much like Festival of the Lost when we got Thunderlord, we had the Haunted Forest, and in the Revelry event we're getting the Verdant Forest. Now some folks have said, couldn't Arbalest be the drop for the exotic quest on the roadmap? Now, that is entirely possible. However, the thing that doesn't tend to happen would be the icon for the DLC being on a kind of free weapon. So even when Thunderlord came around, that actually had the Festival of the Lost icon, and that means it's a weapon that can be acquired by anyone who owns Forsaken and not the annual pass. Whereas annual pass icons, of course, mean DLC content. So Arbalest is probably not going to be the exotic associated with that particular quest on the roadmap. So yeah, a lot of potentially interesting stuff, guys. Let us know your thoughts about it down below. But there are specific quests for the Revelry event that comes in April. So the Spring into Action step, where there are rumors floating around the tower that Osiris may have hijacked the Infinite Forest to run his own simulation. Enter the Verdant Forest to judge that for yourself. There's another quest as well, where we need to visit Eva Levante in the Tower Bazaar to learn more about the Revelry. Then to complete a run of the Verdant Forest, and then there is actually a classified step, which is pretty interesting. Curious because if they're willing to spoil the Verdant Forest bit, then I wonder what that third step could be. But yeah, it looks like this is going to be some of the next really kind of interesting content that we get. And the idea of that Cryptarch Vault I find really interesting because, of course, a lot of stuff we lost in the Red War attack. The tower was destroyed and all of that kind of stuff. But of course, the tower itself actually stands. Maybe slightly damaged, but surely if anything was going to survive, it would be in a vault that was locked away in the heart of that tower, right? Let us know your thoughts about it down below. But next, let's talk about Invitation of the Nine for the week. So of course, Xur arrived yesterday, and this week you'll find him in the European Dead Zone if you want to go pick up that invitation. Once again, bear in mind that bug with these invitations. Hopefully that's something that Bungie can update soon. But for the bounty, we need to clear Savathun's Song, collect Fallen and Hive samples. You can pretty much get all of these samples if you make sure you're killing most of the stuff as you go through the strike. But then of course we get to go to the unknown space. We get some pretty cool dialogue this week, so check this out.
Do you regret this?
What?
Judgment.
I have more agency as an agent than I ever did wielding the light.
You lost everything.
Nothing that ever mattered. I would die for those I love.
You don't understand.
No.
So first and foremost, of course, the drop that I got right here, a 700 power Edge Transit. It's both a meme and a blessing, really, isn't it? But the dialogue we got was pretty cool. In terms of who she's talking to, they're listed as simply the Nine. But we learn about the emissary becoming who she is right now, and the ghost shell falling from her kind of symbolizes her no longer being of the light, and that indeed is what a lot of this dialogue we hear is actually about. Comes with a pretty cool lore entry as well. Of course, the emissary was previously one of the Awoken, and when the Awoken were leaving their original homeworld, the Distributory, she actually left the Awoken to pursue her own path. She did have interactions with the Queen, and one of her closest friends was Jaido, who you may remember was the owner of the Wishender bow that we learned about in Forsaken. But yeah, definitely worth checking out the lore card. She actually goes off on her own, comes to Earth, and she's actually murdered in her sleep at a campsite somewhere on Earth. Obviously, the story will continue beyond that, but ultimately, pretty recently in fact, some point during the Red War, she becomes the emissary of the Nine. So really, really cool stuff. I really like the links to the Awoken as well, but definitely worth checking out that lore in more detail if you're interested. Now though, a final few updates just here. Bungie have said they're looking into an issue where Whisper of the Worm and White Nail seem to be having a few consistent bugs right now. There's something hopefully that they can look at for a future update. Bungie have been running some Bungie bounties, and there were some pretty interesting insights about Gambit and Prime and some of the design elements. One of the perks that they were working on for the Invader originally would actually allow the player to go super fast and to go invisible. And in the very first iteration of Gambit, the Invader was permanently invisible, which is pretty crazy stuff. And if you want to check out more of these kind of insights that have been rounded up, definitely go to Destiny Roundup right here. Really good if you want to keep up with the social side of Bungie. But on top of this, Invaders previously would get power ammo dropped on multi-kills. They also said that they were considering making the Sentry deal more damage to Primevals. But of course, alongside that came an issue where people could possibly run, 4 sentries and absolutely destroy Primevals. There are some other things that they talk about. the goals behind the kind of armor sets, the bonuses, and heavy ammo, and how that's behaving in Gambit Prime. So link Destiny Roundup below if you want to check it out, and also be sure to stay tuned to Bungie's Twitch page for more bounties if you're interested. But guys, for today, that is going to summarize the video, so let us know your thoughts on any of those changes coming in the April update, the stuff about enhancement cores, or the invitation of the 9 if you've had any issues with those. I'd also love to hear your speculation about what the upcoming exotic quest could be, and what a potential return to the old tower could look like as well. But otherwise, if you've enjoyed the video, a like below is very much appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more D2 content. But for now, I will catch you guys very soon.